Welcome back, everybody, to episode 136 of the Lookout Podcast. I'm, of course, Meals. I'm here with the one and only, the unconquerable, the Twin City terrorist himself, LJ. What is up, my
Bro,
friend?
what?
I don't
Bro,
know.
why do I always get the violent nicknames?
Because that's your MO, is it not? I felt like
It's
that was
not
your
my
brand. Violence isn't your
man,
brand?
it's not that it's not my brand, but listen, I'm on my. You seen Avatar, right? The Last Airbender.
No, I have never seen that.
You've never seen Avatar: The Last Airbender?
When did it come out?
That's what 2000. I mean, I was in elementary school when
Yeah,
Avatar
well,
came out.
you are much younger than I am. That came out like 2005. It started in
5. Yep,
2005. I was
2005.
I was off most stuff by then. By that time,
I was
Dragon Ball
in I was in
Z
5th grade.
finished airing. I think they were airing episodes of GT on Toonami then.
Yeah, they
Which
were, because I was
so
watching GT pretty faithfully. I'm not gonna lie to you.
yeah, I wasn't watching. I gave up on that. What was I watching in 2005? I was probably. I don't think I was watching Toonami anymore. I think I was watching. Good lord, what was I watching? Probably 106 in Park.
Spike TV. Spike
I mean,
TV.
it could be that too. I think between that and 106 in Park, maybe. But I even feel like that's too late for 106 in Park. I don't know.
2000.
Whatever.
No, 2000. No, because I was watching 106 in Park, like high school. Like my freshman year, I would come home and it would still be. That's 2009.
But yeah, but I was like, my thing
you
was
like
all right. So when you started watching 106 in Park, was it Free and AJ or was it Roxy and Terrence?
just because of the people in my house, I was growing up watching the AJ and Free, but I did have like Roski and Terrence were like my quintessential hosts for 106 in Park.
When AJ and Free left, like I was like, I got them, but I wasn't. My era of hosts ended, so I didn't really care too much for Terrence and Roxy, even though I guess they're doing great in their post 106 in Park careers, whatever they're doing. But nah, I didn't care too much for them.
Listen, man, I had Roxy, so it's just like I was tuned in regardless.
Absolutely. Listen, I was probably like high pro wrestling thing then. I was probably like watching pro wrestling a lot. I was on the internet looking up other stuff as well. So but I mean, with that said, we've learned today that violence is not the brand you would like to be associated with currently.
Yeah, I'm on my Uncle Iroh, bro. I'm on my old man stuff. I'm like the old
Avatar Airbender.
Yeah.
Like, why did we start talking about this?
Yeah, man. Listen, bro. I'm on my retired war general stuff, bro. I'm just trying to open up a tea shop and be peaceful now after causing years of ruckus.
Okay, well, that's always good to hear.
That's funny, but no, I'm happy to be here. We got some stuff to talk about.
We got a lot of stuff, man. It's a cause for celebration. I think I'm glad to have still been alive to be able to see the day of the momentous occasion that we're going to be talking about this episode. More than that, there's Anime NYC, which is coming this upcoming weekend. There's a lot going on. I have no idea. So one thing I would like to say about this, I always get very I think if we were going regularly, like just as attendees, like it wouldn't be in my brain of like how much stuff we probably should be doing or have to do or like all this other stuff like that. But when we're going as press, it makes me like very cognizant of like, okay, we got to make sure to get this, we got to make sure, we need some content from there, we need to that. So there's a lot of things going on. Are you excited?
I'm really excited. I think that what's crazy is that I feel that this year such a different feel than last year. And also like going last year, I mean that was my first, Anime NYC, that was my first convention. So it was like I was really I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't really know how the layout was going to be. I didn't know about a lot of things. And, I think this year I'm a little bit more prepared. I'm like, okay, this is what's going to happen. But I'm really excited. I think that this year they just got a lot of really cool things lined up. I feel this year is a lot more family based, if that makes sense. Like, there's a lot of like first time viewings and reveals and like people who are coming to America for the first time. So I feel there's like a lot of first. If that makes sense.
It feels like it's a lot more about discovery than anything else. Like
Definitely.
get put on some new stuff, explore some new stuff, all kind of stuff like that. And we also found out this week I will be on a panel at Anime NYC. So
Clap it up for my guy. Clap it up.
That was fun to put together and or find out about. Shout out to Victoria, who hosts the Sailor Moon Fan Club podcast. As always, looking out. As always, saying like, "Listen, is this something you'd be interested in doing?" And me saying, "Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, I've watched Toonami, so I will be on that panel." It is Saturday, 2:00. If you guys are there, community stage. So if you guys are around and you are not able to get into the Isayama thing because it's the same time as that, but at first I was mad, but then I was like, you know what? It's still kind of like prime time hours. Like Saturday at 2 p.m. is still a really good time.
Oh yeah, y'all got a great time slot. That's amazing. Right.
Because I remember her panel last year was like 11 a.m. on a Saturday, and most people, because of all the lines and all the stuff like that, like you weren't even able to get in during that time. Like people were still online, and people are online for hours. People are online for at least 3 hours, and that was like part of their Anime NYC experience. So it's very much so peak hours. I'm looking forward to it.
Wasn't a part of ours for sure. We were definitely not in line for 3 hours.
Let me tell you something about being born here, and maybe being born to my era as well. If I see a very, 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 very long line that I don't need to stand in, I won't stand in it. And I'm not even sure. It might have been timing of when we came, because I know that the press people earlier in the day had to wait online. But me, I'm not a wait online person, especially if the line is like, we walked for minutes just to get to the end of the line. And I was just like, nah, we're not stand on. We'll never get in if we stand on this line and be as patient as all these other cosplayer and anime goers and everyone trying. I was like, nah, we gotta listen. If this is the road we have to cross, we're getting in there, and we're not waiting on this damn line. Damn near almost got in with the friggin' RDC World people. Like,
we were. I remember that. I forgot all about that. That was hilarious.
Yeah, we was like, yo, is this in? And they were all coming in. It's like 15 minutes before their actual like fucking panel, and they're all coming in at that time because they're all coming on the rapper time, I guess. But like, nah, it's lines. Listen, if there's a long line, if there's any gift or gab, if there's a super long line, do not wait on it. Listen, people will be mad, but they will also still be on a very long line. So nothing will have changed for them. Nothing. This is literally affects you in no way.
What's crazy though is like that's so much different than Twin Cities Con that I went to over the weekend, and like I'm mad that I bought tickets because I walked straight in and no one didn't check anything. Like there was no like person scanning codes. There was no like I literally walked into the convention center, walked right into the main convention, and was just like there.
Maybe they knew who you were. Maybe they were like, listen, this is big business.
They still got my money. Man, no, they still got my money. That's the issue. If I could have done that, I would have saved my money.
Listen, man, they made enough to pay the coverage for renting out the space. They're just like, everyone can come in. We don't care. We're in the green.
Like we covered our track. We broke even. Everything else is just a plus.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, spend money inside.
All right, one last thing before we actually get into it. Did you hear about the guy that got arrested for selling bootleg copies of Dragon Ball?
I saw a headline and scrolled past it, but if you can, please indulge me in whatever nonsense this is.
Okay, so a 50-year-old male of Tokyo Sumida Ward was selling sold a bootleg copy of the 1984 51 issue of Weekly Shonen Jump that was the debut issue of Dragon Ball. Um, he sold it for 180,000 yen. That's about $1,200 to another guy, to another 30-year-old. And yeah, it was it was a fake copy, and like I guess it had like different paper quality, different glue binding, yada yada yada. But yeah, essentially the guy fleeced the other man for 180,000 yen, and then
Was
tried to
it
claim that he didn't know.
right? Was there any? Well, listen. Was there any like ramifications? Did someone get arrested? Like, or is it just like a story that now is public, and now he has to deal with said public shame of spending $1,200 on a bootleg
Yeah,
Dragon
it's
Ball
it's
copy?
now a public shaming because I guess this happened in
Uh,
early April, and now they're just yeah, the he sold it in early April, and now the news is just breaking and coming out about this.
well, listen, man. Goddamn.
He's
Um,
he must have bought it off StockX.
I mean,
He StockX the manga. That's
poor. I mean,
crazy.
poor that guy because I'm sure he just wanted to. He was just trying to complete his collection, and here we are. You know what I'm saying? Um, but with that said, I mean, God,
Definitely.
listen. I'm hoping there's none at the Anime NYC. No bootleg collect. Well, I like bootleg anime T-shirts. So I don't know. I really don't care. Um, with that said, we got some stuff to talk about this episode.
We
First of
do.
all, just today it was released. I love recording on Sundays because for some reason anime news always drops on Sundays. Um, Attack on Titan, season 4, part 3, KV. That means key visual for those of you not hip. Dropped.
Not King's variant.
Not King's Variant, no, but key visual has dropped. It is the first bit of things that we've gotten since pretty much the anime ended earlier this year. Well, at least part 2 ended earlier this year, and then everyone was mad because it wasn't a movie, and there was another part that was coming. Um, but no real. I mean, I'm not a fan of like when you drop key visuals with no other information. At least give me a trailer. At least give me something to go off of, something to like bite my teeth in. Like I remember the first final season trailer dropped like over a year before the actual anime dropped, and people just had to live on that for a long, long time. There's no way. I mean, I don't know. Mappa's going crazy. Mappa's been animating everything this year, so it could be potentially they haven't fully fleshed out. They might be 2-3 episodes in at this point. Nonetheless, the anime is scheduled to be dropping in 2023. Sir, when do you predict that we're gonna get final season part 3 of AOT?
2023. We're in November. We're just getting a key visual. April.
April. Okay. I think that's the earliest it could drop. That's the earliest it could drop for sure.
I think
Um,
April. What are we looking at in terms of spring 2023 anime?
I think it's like Vinland,
Vinland
maybe,
Saga,
or maybe that's
Doctor
January.
Stone,
Doctor
Doctor
Stone.
Stone, New World. I mean, yeah, and compare like the things that are. I mean, it's not much lined up. I mean, notable things. Obviously, you have your stuff that is. Witch from Mercury Part 2.
Mm-hmm. I'm predicting maybe
Yeah,
like fall.
I think April would be perfect for it, just because there's nothing else really there. I mean, it could as soon as they drop April, it'll essentially take over that whole season.
No, you're right. You're right. No, you're absolutely right. I always just felt like fall. There's more eyes on everything since everyone's now inside and just watching television. But you're friggin' right. Like it might be. I mean, I don't know Japanese seasons like that. I don't know what's the most important season in Japan. It feels like fall, in my opinion, just because of all the stuff that we've got this fall. But you may be right. I think the earliest it could drop is definitely in the spring. I definitely don't see a summer release at all.
No, hell no. It's not coming in the summer. I don't think.
Yeah. So I'm definitely assuming either spring or fall. But we got some stuff to look forward to. There's a lot going on. If you look at the poster close enough, there's definitely a spoiler in the poster.
Is
um
there?
there's a
Oh man,
spoiler in the poster.
hold on. No, I'm looking now.
I'm gonna say this: if you don't want the spoiler, skip 30 seconds ahead. I'm not gonna give the deliberate spoiler, but it's going to be enough for you to be like, oh, okay, well, that's a thing. Um, so skip 30 seconds ahead, starting now. All right, look at the old key visual and look at the new key visual, and there's a notable person that's missing.
Oh
Um,
shit!
I was like, wait, why are they not on the poster? But hey, listen,
Hilarious. Wow.
up in the clouds like Mufasa. Um,
Uh,
but with that said, um, another little bit of news. I'm checking Anime News Network right now. It said anime industry grew 13.3% domestically and overseas in the year 2021 from 2022. Now, 2020, sorry, from 2020 to 2021. Now, 2020 was a terrible year for everything. Um, but anime's still on the growth, man. It's still, and to be honest with you, judging by the little graph that they put on animatesnewsthing.com, it's bigger than it was in 2019, which was already kind of growing. It's bigger than it was, to be honest with you. 2021 seems to be, for the overall anime industry, in terms of merchandise, music, streaming, everything. It is the biggest year that it was ever been for anime in Japan and domestically, so everywhere else. So, I mean, sorry, overseas. So yeah, anime's only getting bigger. It really is. Like it's a
that's crazy to think. I mean, as obviously as fans who've been fans of anime for a very long time, us seeing the growth is like holy shit. No, it seems so huge to us, but like you got to think about like people who have just become fans in probably like let's say the last 5 years. Like they like to them, I don't feel that this is as crazy. I'll say last 5 years. Like this isn't as crazy, but the like anime hasn't even hit its ceiling yet. I feel like or hit its peak at all, or like not even close to it.
So I'm looking at other news reports. It says because the the rising popularity of anime content expected to propel the anime market forward over the forecast period. Development of anime games, as well as the growing demand for online anime content distribution, which accounts for a significant portion of anime sales, are expected to drive anime market growth. And this is something they're predicting, because I just looked up like anime market growth in the United States. Because quite frankly, I want to know how this is growing in the United States. And people are expecting, it says it's expected to reach, anime market size expected to reach 48.3 billion by 2030 in the United States. That means, considering the current trends, unless something goes dangerously wrong, anime is only expected to grow, because content is king, and all these streaming services and everywhere is kind of looking for content to kind of like sink their teeth in, and also premiere and stuff like that. You've seen Disney with Disney and Hulu with Bleach, and a lot of other places are in. Netflix has their own anime thing, and all these other stuff like that. It's growing, and it'll continue to grow.
It is.
Yeah.
That's cool though, man. Like once again, this is people who've been fans of it for so long. it's just tight to see like so many other people like fall into it now. Um, I think it's weird though too because I feel like there's two sides of anime fans. I feel there's some like us where we're just like, man, we're happy just to see the product grow. We're happy to see so many people get into it, like especially like younger kids now, and just like like even my own kid, I was like watching her like introducing anime to her, but then just seeing her take it and just run off with it on her own has been really cool. But also I feel like there's like another side of anime fans that are like they feel slighted. Like, I used to make fun of us for watching this, and now you all want to watch this, and now I feel like weird about all y'all now watching this one thing. I feel there's definitely a another side to it. But on the non-hater side, well, it's really cool to see.
It's amazing to kind of witness and kind of see the growth of anime just worldwide. And yeah, it's only getting bigger and bigger. And speaking of getting bigger and bigger, because there was a big moment, I would say, and I mean, I guess it counts as anime. We've had this discussion before, like
Oh,
Pokemon,
it's
where it
anime
kind of,
for sure.
yeah, of where it stands in the anime community. And it's definitely an anime. But it kind of like seems to stand on its own pillar by itself, away, making a ton more money than everything else. Um, but Pokemon, big news this weekend. Big news this week. You talked
Probably
about
the
it.
biggest news this week, like the biggest news.
No, you're absolutely right. And I think one thing I remember, we talked a little bit about Pokemon last week in the World Championships, and I was like, okay, we're gonna see if Ash wins because there's been some rumors that the series might end. Um, and the rumors were only well, that's the Poke Police. Um, nah, but it was only more compounded that the series might end due to the spoilers for the episode titles.
They're
Damn,
going
should
to
I
go
just
pick up that Charizard.
easily?
They're
You
going
know,
to go pick up that.
niggas. Um, but no, there was there's three more episodes left for Pokemon Journeys. For the last few episodes, one is called Project Mew, one is called The Future ICs, and the last one is called Pokemon I Am Glad I Met You, uh, which is a take on the first episode title, which is Pokemon I Choose You. So a lot of people have been speculating about the end of the series. This week, it comes out the final battle in the Pokemon World Champion Coronation Series arc comes out, and Ash defeats Leon to become the number one, the king, the legend, the best that there ever was. I'm going to be the very best that no one ever was. He becomes the champion in all of the Pokemon anime. That means everybody. He defeated every Elite Four champion. Well, he hasn't defeated every member of the Elite Four, but he defeated every league champion, outlasted them all to become, listen, the champion of the Pokemon World Coronation Series. He is the very best. 25 years. Holy fuck.
That is. You know what, man? Shout out to Ash. Like, that's a real grinder right there, bro. He didn't run from the grind. He did it. He didn't run from the grind. He hopped region to region. He did what he had to do. Like, obviously, as a fan of it, and someone who has watched it, from the beginning and to see this, it's just really cool. Like, once again, these are like a really cool moments as a fan, especially when it's like my childhood.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit, like this is and usually for me, there is always this like bit of sadness that comes when a series is ending. But oddly enough, there isn't one like with this. Like I felt that this story was
Well, it's
so
been
complete.
25 years, man. It's been over
I mean, it has
12,000
been 20, yeah,
episodes.
yeah. But like it's something that feels so complete about how this ends. In I mean, that final moment, that final battle was so fucking good.
Oh god, they put the
Um,
whole animation budget in this because usually they don't go as hard as they did on this final episode, but well, this final battle. Um,
yeah,
but they
final
went
battle
absolutely
because
in. Yeah,
I mean, it was. I mean, the moment of Pikachu and seeing teams of Pokepass, was such a dope moment. I think that was probably like my favorite moment out the entire thing.
I feel like all right. So of course there is, I think why the entire world has kind of like looked at this moment and have applauded this moment, and it is because I think a lot of us, I mean not a lot of us, but for the last 25 years, whether you've grown up, whether you've been born in the last 25 years or you were born 30 years ago, you've seen, especially if you were born 30 years ago, you've seen the phenomena of Pokemon, and you've seen the anime and how Ash is, and we've played the games, and I think a large part of it is the games and how it translates to the anime, because this is one of the only titles where the game kind of like translates to the popularity of the anime instead of the anime pop, going, and then the games becoming poppin' because they're their own separate entity. Pokemon is really like a brand. It's not a anime thing. It's not a video game thing. It is, at this point, it is simply Pokemon, and that is it. Um, because you can sell anything from Pokemon. You can sell cooking games, you can sell plushies, you can sell houses, you can sell socks, you can sell clothing, you can sell straws, you can
Would you
sell
buy a Poke
anything.
House? Would you
Um,
buy a Pokemon themed house?
I mean, if I could charge niggas to go inside and play, look in, yeah, I might. But there there's so much stuff with it, but I think it's because, like, again, we were there episode 1 as a kid. We've seen this journey, and a lot of people, granted, no doubt people have fall off the journey. It's been 25 years. We have other things to do. We grow up, we all this other stuff like that. What makes this great is because it feels legitimately like closing. We finally got the closure that I think everyone has wanted. As someone who has like been watching this series practically the entire time, I haven't been watching week by week, but I've managed to catch up to this thing. I've done this in a way that I can't do with One Piece for whatever reason, and maybe it's because I'm just older. But and also there was more episode, like there was way more episodes in front of me than there were behind me. But him, I mean, you go to the Indigo League, he doesn't win there. You go to the Johto League, and the weird thing was like he would always lose to like, it was never his rival because he'd OD like beat the rival. It was always some schmuck that came out of nowhere that was just really really strong. Um,
Yeah.
that would take him over, like some guy who's just in the league and he just, he's just a very strong trainer but also a very cool person. Um, and they would just take him over. But like he finally, it felt like, okay, this is 25 years worth of experience for this 10-year-old easily. Um, and we reach this moment. And I think the most important part about why this moment happened, well, I don't know if it's the most important part, but I think a lot of people realize how invested people were still with Ash, because while you see, I mean, the anime isn't doing numbers. It's not even in rotation. It's not even really talked about in some of the biggest anime that's ever existed. But I think when Ash won the Alola League Championship, and it was like even on CNN, Ash wins a world championship finally. I think you began to see how much of an impact that Pokemon still has, or how much of a footprint it still left on the world.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like it's we talk about it a lot on here, but Pokemon just has truly become one of those entities that has just blasted into a own, like it's a universe of its own. I mean, the fact that everybody, even people I feel like are non fans, like I'm sure no one at fucking CNN really cares about Pokemon, but the fact that it was such a big moment that people were like, "Yo, Ash finally did it," when he won the league. And then now it's like now he's finally a world champion. Like I don't know, like it felt like we've been rooting for Ash for so long to finally see him do this. Like the whole world is like coming together. Like I'm sure like this is the most peaceful moment. Like him winning this is like the most like peace the world has ever known.
Yeah,
Because we have all
especially
came
during,
together.
yeah, during election week. So it's like,
Everyone just like stopped and was just like, "Holy shit!" Like he did it. He finally did it.
This episode to me, so I've been, of course, I've been following this series the entire time because it's just something. It's like there's something just very calming and basic about Pokemon. Yeah, it's not the best anime series, but there's something very, um, because it's such a because it's such like on a level that is clear. There's no like true subtext to it. Um, it's very easy to follow and also very easy to like put yourself in that. Damn, come on, Poke Police, give me something. No, it's very easy to just put yourself in this position, um, and kind of like follow it and absorb it and like take the themes and the motifs and all this other stuff and apply it to yourself. Like very, very easy. And it's actually easy to do that with a lot of kid shows. You don't find yourself invested, but still you manage to like kind of like connect to the material that they're given or the themes or stuff like that. Um, I know that because even when they were doing the last episode of Arthur, I think it was like last year or earlier this year, um, and they played it on YouTube, I would watch the episodes. I'm like, damn, why do I like this so much? I'm like 32 years old. And I was just like, because it's just basic concepts. And it's just like, there's
Yeah.
no subtext, there's no things I have to, it's just like being a good person will get you through at the end of the day. And that's kind of like what Pokemon is, to be honest with you. It's a story about Ash and his Pokemon Pikachu. And
Keep grinding. That's like the main like message you get from Pokemon. Just keep working hard. Keep working hard at it. You're gonna eventually get there. Now all of us can't be 10 for 25 years, but
right.
you keep working towards a goal. You keep trying to achieve a goal, and you can finally make it.
I love the care they put in this episode because the animation was
Fucking
they
beautiful. Oh
they
my
put
god,
I was like
that Super Saiyan Pikachu moment.
listen, I was like, I ain't never seen a quick attack like this before in my life.
That I was like, those Iron Tails are going too hard.
Nah, but it's like I just they obviously to me I'm interested to see if this was always the plan with this series because Pokemon Journeys, this season of it, or this series of the arc is different than any other one before because it's not really following. Usually, you follow the games. Pokemon Sword and Shield was the game. We go to the Galar region. We explore the Galar region. We go through the league. We beat all of it. But Ash has won a league before, so it's not necessarily. It's like I'm not doing that shit again. I'm a champion. Like relax. So it's a completely different series where they go to various different places, and I remember that was so exciting initially when I was watching it because I was just like, wow, like this is way different than they've ever done before. And the only thing we've asked with this damn series is to do something different. Um, and a lot of people were like, yo, take Ash out, follow something else. We need something more mature.
You can't. And like, what is honestly, I mean, would a more mature Pokemon series be fun to watch? Definitely. Something a bit more based on the manga definitely would be a very fun series. But at the same time, why? Like why? Like, first of all, I think the point of Pokemon, especially how it's evolved throughout the years, is that at the end of the day, I think obviously they care about the older fans and people who've been there, but I respect Pokemon so much for really being like, yeah, I know y'all been here for a while, but still, fuck y'all. Like this is still a kid show. Like we're doing this for the kids. And that's how I've always felt about it. Um, and Ash is the catalyst. Like, why would you want another character? Why would you want somebody different to push this story forward?
It would be like changing out Goku as the main character or Naruto as the main character at this point, just because of how much investment that's put into it. But this episode, I mean, this battle, it's inspiring. It looks great. I like how they kind of like flipped the ending. Again, this is different than anything they've ever done because they have the big like, I guess beam struggle, whatever it is, Thunderbolt versus Fire Blast, and Pikachu just wakes up in the hospital, and he's just like, "Yeah, your last attack did it," and then it flips you back into the moment where they win, and I'm like, yo, they never really do. This is like some shit they never truly like tug on the heartstrings in this kind of way. And it's very fitting for the last kind of like, if this is the last hurrah for Ash, because that's what it seems like. I can't imagine, given
What is
how.
he?
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
you can't do nothing after this. He's done
Yeah,
it.
but
He's done what we wanted him to do.
I also can't imagine, even if it's not involving Ash, I can't imagine a Pokemon anime series ending because of how much it's actually like, it helps the product. Like, it's just another part of, like, Pokemon itself as a video game doesn't stand on its own without the constant, thing of the anime, and vice versa. And while they don't necessarily need each other, they both support each other. So I can't imagine it being gone for a long period of time. Now, there have been rumors. I've been following this for a very long time. The only thing there have been rumors of is that, considering there was a lot of like filler episodes, which they don't have actually. I mean, they do have, but it was a lot of like flashback episodes that they had this thing, during the end parts of Journeys. Um, it's because they can't pay all the people to animate the series consistently, which might be why we reached the end, might be why Ash beats Leon. Um, and there's no, after the, I believe it's like December, there are no new Pokemon episodes scheduled. Whereas this thing has been running, when I tell you it's been running consistently for 25 years, it's maybe taken, the longest thing it's maybe taken off is maybe a month. Like, it's been consistently for 25 years. The last episode is on December 9th. Um, but I can't imagine it ending in any kind of way. But I mean, man,
What if on the last episode he finally has a birthday?
I think that would be
Last
cool.
episode
That's
he
how I
turns.
would write it.
Yeah, last episode he turns 11.
He turns 11. That I think that becomes another like major moment. Ash turns 11 officially. Um and we I don't know. This was just a
To
really,
think,
really.
my thing
Go ahead.
is like to think that like to imagine all of Ash's career happened in 1 year is is absolutely hilarious to me.
That would be nuts.
Um, like all the regions he's done win to, all the things that he's done. That's just like 1 year of his life. Like, what more do you need to do? Like, you done peaked in life.
I don't know. This was very heartwarming for me. I can't say anything more. As someone who's been a fan of this, as someone who's bought the game, as someone who's kept up with the anime, this was very heartwarming. And I think even if you don't keep up with the anime, just seeing all of these characters and seeing everything that he's been through kind of like summed up within an episode. Like you said, seeing those past teams of his from various regions. You talk about the Kanto team, the Johto team, the Hoenn team, Sinnoh team, Unova team, Kalos team, what's the other fucking one? The Galar. Well, no, there's no Galar. Okay. So all the other teams that he's been through, and seeing them all in the most anime moment that the series has ever had, with these beam struggles, man faints and then gets back up due to the power of friendship and all these other stuff. This was just amazing. It was great.
Do
I'm
you have a favorite Ash team?
Yeah. So I have, good lord. Okay. So mine is probably, I really like the team he has now, to be honest with you. Um, so that one is definitely up there because again, I've seen all the development for this shit, and I think it's just a very flexible team. I'm a big fan of his. Damn, I'm a big fan of a couple of his teams. I'm a big fan of the Sinnoh team, and I'm a big fan of the Kalos, the X and Y team with the Greninja and all this other stuff like that. But I don't know. I like a lot of them. They have a great way of like tying you in to the show, like really, really like tying you in, like roping you in because of how they develop. Like, you talk about character development with a lot of animes and stuff like that, like how they develop you with his connections with the Pokemon, but also giving them their own separate personalities. Having Charizard being a hard ass because he doesn't think that Ash is worthy enough to um, be his trainer because he has surpassed him. But then also seeing Squirtle Squad Squirtle and
Yeah,
um,
he
the
reformed a gangbanger, bro. Ash is like,
but like those are like relations. So you kind of get every relationship. I'm sure if anyone who's like die hard of the series, they could do an old Pokemon convention, and I'm sure like it would sell out. Um, but it's I don't know. I got a lot. What about you?
um, I loved his
Or what's your favorite
his.
moment of the series? What was a moment that really stuck with
Ooh,
you as a kid?
okay, so team question first. I loved his Gen 5 team. I can't remember the region his Gen 5 team was. It's the one with Scraggly and
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Scraggy,
Crocodile.
Leavanny, Crocodile.
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, because that's really like the first time we see him with a team that's all new Pokemon
Right.
outside of Pikachu. And I always thought that was really cool. I'm with you too. I think that his current team is really really cool. I think it's a great mix of new and old, and uh, yeah. I'm trying to think. Obviously, that first team will always have a special place in all of our hearts. Um, okay, favorite moment. Do the movies count? Can I say movie from
Might as
a moment
well.
in a movie?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Listen, him swinging on Mewtwo is the greatest Pokemon moment ever. It's the first time I ever saw human on Pokemon violence, and that was great.
I love it. I think
Do you think we get a live action, like a full
hell no.
blown live action, like
Oh wait, isn't Netflix doing
ever?
something? I think so. I think we actually are.
Is Netflix? Hold on, let's look. Let's tap in with the
Yeah.
Google.com.
Let me see. They might be. Uh,
Um,
Pokemon live action
20.
series in exclusive development at Netflix.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah, I'm here.
what Pokemon early development?
Yep. Soon Joe Henderson is attached to write and executive produce.
It's the
They
dude that
are
did Lucifer.
Yes, so that is something that is going to happen. Also, Pokemon has this exclusive partnership with Netflix um to lease out their content. This is again part of the anime boom and why content is so important to all these people because literally Netflix. I mean, there are other places you can watch Pokemon, but Netflix is the one that gets the new episodes. So again, leasing out content that everyone loves, you can still watch the first season of Pokemon on Netflix and it's still there and you will enjoy it as a kid all over again. And they released a movie there, the remake of the first movie, a bunch of other things on Netflix as well. So Pokemon Netflix has the pretty much a partnership deal with Pokemon to do some stuff. So we'll probably be seeing a Netflix live action series. And I'm interested to see what else they kind of want to do. Um, the series, for all intents and purposes at this point, unless something new pops up within the next 3 weeks, the series, for all intents and purposes, in its current iteration, is over. Um, I can imagine them doing another series, but I can't imagine it being as popular as this original series is.
It's listen. This goes to my point of Nick. Learn when to end. Like Pokemon has had a great 25-year run. They have legit completed a perfect ending to the series.
Hmm.
End it. Like there's no more you can really do. Like I really don't want to see a new trainer kind of go through the same grind because it's
Sure.
like what's the point? Like I already saw Ash go through this grind. I'm not trying to see older Ash because it's like what does older Ash really like? What does he really bring to the table?
Sex,
Um,
drugs, all types of other
yeah,
shit.
yeah, he becomes a rock and roll Pokemon master. Um, fame gets to him. We get Pokemon Unsung.
No, but I mean, there's definitely a lot of ways you can go with this. I think everyone has wanted to see him at least get older, but I don't think it's really necessary at this point. I think the charm of the series is that he's a kid who's defying the
Yeah,
odds no matter what and managing to break out. This isn't like a conventional anime series where I could see like, oh, okay, Goku gets older. Oh, okay, Naruto gets older. Oh, okay, Luffy gets older. At this point, we're 1,200 episodes in. The charm of the series is that he's a kid and doing all these in a world of adults, who doesn't care about a 10-year-old being out on their own. He's doing this and being their ass, and he's become what he's always wanted to become, which is a champion. And I'm glad it broke the internet. Um, but like you said, this is a conversation about like when to end. So,
this
I
is
mean,
this is like when Dirk finally won a championship.
yes,
Everybody was like really happy.
yeah,
This
but
is
then he
exactly
stayed
like
on
that.
like another like 7 years, and it wasn't pretty. But
Yeah. Oh yeah, nah. He should have retired after that.
but
But no, yeah, yeah, it's like when Dirk won his first one. You're like, shit, if Dirk got one.
yeah, no, for sure. Another series. Let's talk about endings of anime. We could talk about this and then kind of like wrap up and not take too long on our own ending for this show. Um, Ending of series. Which one? I don't want to say which one do you feel like needs to end, but do you feel like there's a good timing for any of these series to end right now? And why is it One Piece?
Oh my god. Oh, My Hero is obviously ending. Is definitely ran its course. Um, I mean, I do agree. I think One Piece is reaching a point where it's like, all right, bro, like how much more can we do? I mean, even with this current, like, speaking manga wise, even with like the current things that are going on, it's like a lot. You're like, yo, you're recalling to a lot of shit. Like, there's a lot of things that have happened. Like, my brain is all over the place. Um, I mean, yeah, I mean, I honestly just feel like the kind of the big ones have already been running.
Mm-hmm.
One Pieces, the My Heroes, I mean, I even think Jujutsu Kaisen is reaching a point where you're kind of just like, okay, like where's the ending coming?
But all right,
Um,
so what makes it a good ending? Because I think we can all agree. I mean, we haven't seen the true ending of this, but the final battle for this has been amazing, and everyone loves it. And it's 10 out of 10 would do again, and it's the most important thing that's ever happened. What really makes a good ending? Because we've had, I mean, I've seen the Naruto ending. I thought that was like, but again, I watched it as a 30-some-year-old. I didn't watch it as like a 15-year-old or 17-year-old or whatever. It probably would have ended when I was like 23, to be honest with you. Actually, when did Naruto end? Like 2005? 2015? Shippuden, that's what I'm talking about. Uh, Good lord.
you know what? I give Naruto. I think Naruto had a solid ending. It was
Mm.
solid. I think for me, a good ending is like, I mean, it does the main character achieve his overall goal? Yes or no? And it needs to be a clear yes or no. Did he
This should
achieve
have
it or
ended when I
not?
was 27. God damn. Okay, go off. Sorry.
Oh yeah, Naruto is. I
It
mean, I
just
think
ended
I
like
was.
5 years ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was like I had to be 20 at the time when it ended. Um, but no, like does the main character achieve his overall goal? Yes or no? And
Hmm.
to be honest, if it's a yes or a no, really doesn't make or break it for me. Like it's cool to see people fail sometimes. Like I mean, if it makes sense, sure. Um,
You've had a
don't make
you've
me
had
fail.
a you've had an ending that you didn't really like. What was the difference between that and the endings you do like?
Um, I think the ending in which we are not going to speak on because the author asks us to be very kind to him. Um, I think that ending felt like how can I make this as chaotic and crazy as possible with no like real sense added to it?
Mm.
Like there was no real sense there. Like it didn't make sense in the overall scheme of things. It didn't make me feel um it didn't really make me feel that Aaron achieved his goal. Sorry, I had a name drop. Um it just there was just something about the ending that just felt like I'm like, this is just chaotic and it's just chaos for the sake of chaos right now. And then it's like this, that final scene when him and Mika, I was just like, this is a lot. Like this is a little too much. And I'm just like, and
I
what was the
guarantee
point
you
of
like it
all
when the
this?
anime comes out. I guarantee you don't care. I guarantee you don't hate it as much. I'm not gonna say like it. I guarantee you don't hate it as much when the anime comes out. I'm almost sure.
Nah, probably. I mean, listen, I think that with that final battle, I'm sure that I will find a way to use that to cover it up. Of like, oh, the battle. But no, I'ma still hate it. I think that ending was so whack. I just, what's crazy? What also has kind of a, what like I feel has a pretty like shitty ending, and you're probably gonna hate me for this.
sure, go off.
Dragon Ball Z. I feel the ending is like lame.
It is, um, but that one stayed its welcome like way too like a whole saga past what it was supposed to. Like the ending, for all intents and purposes, was supposed to be the
Like I'll
Gohan
say this.
thing.
I'll say this. Y'all may hate GT. GT had a better ending than Z.
Well, yeah, because you able to. They wrote the ending of Z with GT in mind, so it was not really an ending, um, because the ending of Z establishes a new character, which you're going to watch. I'm pretty sure the space between Dragon Ball Z ending in Japan and GT starting is 1 week. So the ending of Z, even though like I guess it's still the manga as well, it follows that, but I feel like they wrote that ending with GT in mind and not the finality of like let's finally end this kind of thing. Like that's where I feel
But
like
like
we're
the GT ending was so cool. Like Gohan,
because it
like
was the
getting
end. It was like, all right, wrap
yeah,
this shit up. No, it was like wrap
like
this
that
shit
shit
up.
was hard. That shit was hard, bro. Him holding on to Shenron, flying Goku off, and pretty much like, hey, bro, you did your piece, man.
But by that
You did your
time, no
thing.
one cared. Like GT, the one of the best things about GT, and probably one of the only great things about GT, is the ending of it. And you could have really done that in Dragon Ball Z, but they didn't. Um, the proper ending was supposed to be the end of the Cell Saga, and then they extended it more because they wanted more episodes, and then we got the Boo Saga, and then they extended it more because they wanted more things, and then we got GT. I think Dragon Ball Super anime ending, while again, I don't think it's a finality ending, like it's not, but I think the ending of it was really, really good in terms of like Frieza and Goku working together after all this time, and having to put their differences aside for the sake of their universe. Um, I think the ending for gosh, what's another thing? Honestly, I don't. There's not a lot of good endings in anime. I think this Pokemon thing is getting the job done, even though Pokemon dragged its ass for a long time. Um, but I don't think Yu Yu Hakusho. I think the final episode is really, really good, but I think the ending of Yu Yu Hakusho is like it's like trying to land a plane through turbulence. Um, we're just happy it landed, you know. Um,
You
because
know what? I can agree to that because I feel that they try to.
there was a whole other tournament no one gave a fuck about.
Yeah, and that's why I think I feel that they were trying to capture some type of magic from the Dark Tournament in this final part, and they just weren't able to get it. I mean, shoot, even you know, like our last really moments of Yusuke is him losing.
Yeah,
Uh,
but you don't even remember
but
that. You just remember the final episode with him and
yeah,
you.
but I think the final episode, I will agree. I think the final episode is amazing. I think the ending as a whole, I, shaky, a little shaky.
I don't
They got
think
the landing, but they I don't know if they stuck it.
I gotta rewatch the last episode of Naruto because I only watched it once. I just remember that last arc being like, all right, nah, y'all dragging it. That's all I remember thinking. I was like, okay, we're dragging this. Like, I need to skip, 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 skip. Um, and I remember it was just like, yeah, we're dragging this. But I think the last episode, I think they both lose an arm.
Yeah,
I was like, that
no
was
armless
weird.
wonders.
Yeah, I was like, that was weird. Do they still have no arm in Boruto?
I think they both have like mechanical arms now.
Oh, okay. Never watched Boruto.
Or I haven't watched Boruto. Obviously, I've read it. Horrible manga. Um, and does the Sasuke go full blown? Like, I'm not even gonna accept help from this arm. Um, I think he does, and I think he just has one arm. And he just uses his sword. I know for sure that Naruto has another arm though.
I'm trying to think of what's another one that had a good ending. You know what? I think Cowboy Bebop had a good ending, despite it still being up in the air. Um,
That was a great ending. I think Hunter x Hunter the anime had a good ending.
I think it did. I really do. Its last arc, I still can't get jiggy with, but I think the ending itself, like, there's a clearly people when you stay a little bit longer than you're supposed to, you kind of I think people know how they're going to end. It's kind of just getting there. And I think the longer and longer a series goes, the more rocky the road ends up getting to get to that.
I
And
think
you
I
end up
think the
introducing a
issue.
lot of stuff that you have to like close up. And if you don't close it up, you get critiqued a lot about like the ending of it.
I think that's the issue. Is that I think a lot of writers want to close up every hole for every character,
As
and
but to
my
be
thing
honest,
is,
I think they should. If you introduce
I
somebody,
honestly don't care.
nah,
As long like I think if you okay, I feel every series has three core characters, right?
sure.
As long as those three core characters get a good ending or like have their shit tied up, everybody else is kind of just secondary. Everyone else is I'm like, all right, I really don't give like I really don't care if you know the the support character from the third arc, finally achieves what he needs to achieve. Like if he doesn't achieve it by the end of that arc, oh well.
Hey,
Um,
how did you feel about the Promised Neverland ending now?
manga ending.
Yeah, the manga ending. We're not going to go
Okay, I
into
was
the
gonna say,
anime.
yeah, I was gonna say that there's only one season of Promise Neverland, so amazing one season. It's one of those amazing one season shows where you wish you got a second season. It's like one of
Yeah,
those.
totally.
Um, but no, I've always been a fan of it.
Mm,
Always been a fan of that ending. I think that ending is so tight. Like
hmm.
they achieved their goal. There's a little weirdness in there, but they achieved their goal of making it to the other side. I think the fact that they all make it to the other side, and obviously, like they lost a couple friends along the way, but the fact that they're able to make it to the other side, also like sacrifice something, like the fact that she had to give up her memory for them to make it over. Like I'm like that's I don't know. Like you still get some type of sacrifice, and I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the fact that she had to give something up that other than her life to for all of them to achieve what they were trying to achieve. And I also like the fact that it kind of leaves a little bit of opening of if we want to go, if they ever want to, tap back in and do a part two or do, something after, like they could because how they set up the world after. But I think that ending was great. I thought that ending was amazing. And then her seeing them, and it's like, although she doesn't have her memory, she still has the feeling and, the crying, and then the old man in the back that was taking care of her. Like, it was just, I was like, this is a really good ending. I love it.
All right. With
It's a
that
better
said,
ending than Demon Slayer.
I like Demon Slayer's ending. That was one I wasn't going to mention because it's still kind of like very much so happening, and people are a lot invested. I didn't mind its ending, um, and I think it'll only be enhanced by the anime, of course. as everything Demon Slayer related does. But if you wanted to let us know what are your favorite anime endings, you can definitely hit us up at the Lookout RNC on Twitter. You can follow us at Meals TV and only at LJ on Twitter. You can follow the podcast as well at the Lookout on RNC Radio. If you see us at Anime NYC this weekend, please say what's up.
Catch us at the Toonami panel, or catch him. I'm gonna be there like front row with a big sign that says "Let's Go Mills," but you'll see him on stage. I'm just listen. What did Drake say about Serena's husband?
Listen,
that's
don't do
that's
that.
that's me for Mills, man. Love you, bro.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you guys next week. Take care.